I love the title card bit in the most recent episode of Invincible because not only is it genuinely hilarious, but it also fits on a narrative level. PowerPlex is upset because not only did he suffer a horrific loss, but it also seems like there's no justice coming for it. Two of some of the most valuable people in his entire life were taken away from him, and it's not being treated with any of the gravity that he wishes it was. Even on a meta level, the show itself is running a genuinely hilarious gag, while he's here screaming about wanting justice for the deaths of his family. And I love when background characters are given roles like this, because a frequent issue that I have with a lot of superhero media is that it often feels like the superheroes live in these empty worlds where they just can cause whatever destruction and chaos. Regular people just trying to live a regular day-to-day life in the background are kind of just there as set dressing. Obviously, they're not the main character, so they're not going to get the same attention that the main character does. But sometimes a lot of the implications of the gravity of the situations that the heroes are in and the way innocent people get dragged into it are not really given any attention, and it kind of makes the world feel hollow. So showing a guy like this who lives in a world where there are godlike beings fighting over the fate of humanity, and he's just trying to get justice for people that he loved that got hurt in the crossfire, helps make the world feel more alive and also provides a genuinely tragic story. This man was ultimately helpless to help his family, and he still carries so much guilt to the point where he loses himself in pursuit of justice. I think this episode of Invincible is probably one of my favorites because while it's not particularly action-packed in comparison to some other episodes, he did such a phenomenal job adapting PowerPlex from the comics into the show. You gotta give Aaron Paul a lot of credit because his voice acting was carrying. His voice acting was so good that it took this already very tragic story and managed to elevate it to another level, in my opinion. The edits are gonna go crazy. And if I had a nickel for every time that Aaron Paul played a tragic character with a very supportive girlfriend who fed into their self-destructive behavior that ultimately wound up being their own undoing, and then he was forced to carry that guilt and trauma for the rest of his life, I would have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice.